in the Weekend Doug Update studio shows Norm Macdonald and Charlie Rocket sitting at the desk. Macdonald: hello, welcome to Weekend Doug Update. I'm Norm Macdonald. Along with Charlie Rocket, here's the fake dead news. Shauna Ray, the reality TV star that is 23 but has a disability that makes her appear to be 8, is now dating a 26-year-old. The relationship has caused controversy, particularly among jealous pedophiles. With more on that is Uncle Roy. Uncle Roy? Buck Henry, as Uncle Roy comes out, sits and says, "Thank you, Norm. Boy, does this story rile me up." Macdonald: and why is that? Henry: well, I made a living babysitting prepubescent little girls because that's what I'm into. It eventually caused me to have to register as a sex offender and spend some time in prison. Meanwhile, some lucky yahoo out of Britain gets to legally date a 23-year-old who appears to be 8. It's just not fair. And so I want it to be known that if Shauna ever needs a babysitter... Macdonald: she's 23, Uncle Roy. Henry: well, I hope that her disability is genetic and she gets knocked up. Imagine that childbirth. And I hope she has a little girl with that same disability, and that when she's 18, she's still very irresponsible, and her parents believe she still needs a babysitter. I'll be there with bells on and a bottle of booze. Norm? Macdonald: Uncle Roy, everybody. Tepid applause. Rocket: after classified documents were found in former President Trump and President Biden's personal residences, news has come out that classified documents have also been found at the home of Mike Pence, with those classified documents allegedly being Condoleezza Rice's secret pot brownie recipe. Macdonald: Alec Baldwin will be charged with involuntary manslaughter based on the accident that occurred last year with cinematographer Helena Hutchins. When asked about the issue by a reporter who had just sneezed, Baldwin took out what he thought was an unloaded handkerchief and accidentally shot the reporter. Rocket: California is in shock after 3 mass shootings in 44 hours, particularly because they happened before communion. Macdonald: Democratic Senator Dick Durbin admitted Joe Biden, who said it was totally irresponsible for Trump to have classified documents at his home, has lost the high ground on the issue. Luckily, on the low ground, there were many prepubescent girls there to help President Biden feel the hairs on his legs. Henry comes back out and yells, "That lucky bastard!" Rocket: in Baton Rouge, 4 people have been charged with raping a female college student before she was killed by a car. Those who raped her after she was killed by the car were merely charged with necrophilia. Macdonald: Russia unleashed strikes on Ukraine after Germany and the U.S. agreed to send tanks. Ukraine countered with merely a spare. It's a bowling joke. Russia unleashed strikes, so Ukraine countered with a spare. And Frank Stallone: and dead from the earth, we're not alive. It's Saturday Night Alive, starring John Belushi, Chris Farley, Phil Hartman, Jan Hooks, Norm Macdonald, Gilda Radner, Denitra Vance, and with many other special deceased contributors. Musical guest, Patsy, Cline, and your host, Kobe Bryant. Everybody, Kobe Bryant. Applause, applause, applause. Bryant: thank you. I'm happy to be here. It's very bittersweet, though, as 3 years ago today, I, along with many others, including my daughter Gigi, lost our lives in a helicopter crash. So the producer rewarded me here with being the first ever 3-time host of this program. Applause, applause, applause. Bryant: and so, I want to spend the monologue doing what I love doing more than anything else, beating the shit out of somebody in basketball. Chris Farley comes out in a Milwaukee Bucks jersey and says, "Did somebody say basketball?" Bryant, "That's right." Farley, "Well, let's play some one-on-one, biatch." Bryant, "Oh, it's on, motherfucker. You shoot for ball." A basketball rim appears on stage and a ball is rolled to Farley. Farley misses the shot. Bryant, "It's going to be a long day for you, punk." Bryant takes the ball, checks it to Farley, gets it back, and drives past him for an easy dunk. As the two continue to play in the background, Phil Hartman comes out and says, "Welcome to this epic one-on-one battle between Kobe Bryant and Chris Farley. One stands 6'7", the other 5'8", but despite the height difference, Chris does have Kobe beat in the weight department." Norm Macdonald comes out and says, "That's right, Phil, you know, and I smell an upset. I'll bet you $20 that Farley cruises to a victory." As Bryant continues to dominate in the background, Hartman says, "You're wrong." The two shake hands. Hartman, "And we wanted to remind our viewers that this one-on-one battle is brought to you by the NBA. The NBA, this is why we play." Macdonald, "So what's the score anyway, you know?" Shows Farley laying on the ground motionless. Bryant approaches the two and says, "I just beat him 11-zip. Macdonald, "Damn it. I gotta stop gambling." Bryant, "That was a bad bet, boss. Anyway, we have a great show tonight. Patsy Cline is here, so get ready to fall to pieces. We'll be right back."